Yeah? Okay. So before we start our practice this morning, I was reminded of just a quote that I shared in the very first Facebook Live class that I taught at 21st, right when everything kind of shut down. And it's actually a quote that Brian sent me, and I was reminded of it again yesterday. And maybe you've heard it, maybe you heard it in that class, but it's a really, I think it's a really profound reminder of the bigger picture. And I think right now it's so easy to get gripped up and divisive. And I think to me it was just it's a beautiful reminder. So I wanted to share it with you this morning as we move into our practice. And this is actually a quote from a physician, Ira Byock, and from his, I think it's from a book, I'm pretty sure, The Best Care Possible, A Physician's Quest to Transform Care Through the End of Life. And this is what he says. Years ago, anthropologist Margaret Mead was asked by a student what she considered to be the first sign of civilization in a culture. The student expected Mead to talk about fish hooks or clay pots or grinding stones. But no, Mead said that the first sign of civilization in a culture was a femur, thigh bone, that had been broken and then healed. Mead explained that in the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, you die. You cannot run from danger, get to the river for a drink, or hunt for food. You are meat for prowling beasts. No animal survives a broken leg long enough for the bone to heal. A broken femur that has healed is evidence that someone has taken time to stay with the one that fell, has bound up the wound, has carried the person to safety, and has tended the person through recovery. Helping someone else through difficulty is where civilization starts, Mead said. We are at our best when we serve others. So just maybe opening up to that invitation to service, compassion, kindness. So find your seat, everybody. Let's close the eyes and start to tune into the breath this morning. And giving yourself a moment to come into your practice, to feel the body. And noticing the presence and the quality of your breath. And if it's familiar to you, you can move into your Ujjayi pranayama, that victorious breath, engaging gently the muscles at the back of your throat, still breathing in and out through the nostrils, but with that gentle toning. You might hear the breath in a different way. Good. And on your next in-breath, I'd like for you to lift up a little bit more through your heart, through your chest, and roll your shoulders back. Maybe lift your head up a little bit. As you exhale, round through the spine and bow your head. Just a little gentle movement through cat-cow. And so inhale, lift up, shoulders back and open. And exhale to round the spine. Good. And let's do one more like that. Inhale, open. And exhale, tuck and round. Good. Come back to your upright position. And let's start to move now side to side. So starting to mobilize the spine this way. Good. And take one more full breath here. Making your way back through to center, back to neutral. Send your right arm up alongside your ear, and you're going to bring the right hand over towards your left knee, coming into a twist. And your left hand can kind of support you from behind here as you elongate on the in-breath and move a little bit deeper on the out-breath. Engaging through the low belly. Take one more cleansing breath here in your twist. And then let's go ahead and unwind out of that. And left arm reaches up on in-breath, extend. And then left hand over towards your right knee. Right hand behind you for support, sitting up straight and tall. And opening up into this twist. Good. Take one more cleansing breath here. And you'll start to unwind out of that and back to center. Shift forward to the hands and the knees. And as you come forward, just take a moment to move through the spine in your own way. So you can start some cat-cow movement, opening up the heart and rounding through the spine, moving in this direction. And maybe you want to take it all the way into child's pose and let the body settle here for a few breaths. Good. Or you could even move your hips side to side or in a circle. Just starting to tune into your body this morning. And notice that each and every time we come to our mat to practice, it's a new experience. Our present moment never quite repeats itself, right? So we are invited into this newness with each breath, each moment in time, each sensation. And our downward facing dogs always feel a little bit different too. So let's move into that when you're ready, tucking your toes under, lifting up your hips, pulling in at the belly, navel to spine, feeling the ground, feeling the earth through your hands and your feet. Maybe a little bit of gentle movement or shifting. And take maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here in your first downward facing dog. Good. And then bend your knees, look forward toward the top of your mat. You can step or hop forward. And then lengthen your spine. Maybe your hands come up to your knees or your shins. Exhale, fold back in. Perfect. And do that again. Inhale, lift up, extend, crown forward. Exhale, fold. Good. All the way up to standing on your next in-breath. So ground your feet, stretch the arms all the way up, lift. And then hands come together in front of the heart. Nice job, you guys. Arms back up on in-breath. Stretch up and reach and lengthen. Exhale, take it forward into your fold. Uttanasana. Long, lengthened spine on in-breath. Halfway lift. Very good. Take both hands to the floor this time. Make your way to plank, upper push-up. We're going to hold here for just a couple of breaths. You could even push with your toes and shift the whole body forward and back a couple of times, feeling into the wrists and the ankles. Strong core connection here. Good, and then go ahead and lower down slowly, Chaturanga Dandasana. Point your toes, pull your shoulders back, inhale into a little baby cobra, opening through the heart. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Push into the ground through the palms, through the hands, hips to sky. Continue to draw the thighs back and the heels down. Breathe here. Good. Take one more in-breath here. Excuse me. And then we're going to take the feet just a little bit wider on your mat in your down dog. And we're going to come into a bit of a twist. So the right hand will stay where it is. Take away your left hand, reach around to your right foot, ankle or calf, anywhere you can reach. Continue to pull back with your right hip and thigh and open up your chest toward the right, like you're looking up past your right arm and armpit. Take one more cleansing breath here, twisting down dog. Good, and switch sides. So left hand back to your mat. Unweight your right hand. Reach around to your left foot, ankle or calf. Push into the ground with your left hand, your left palm. Continue to pull back with your left hip and turn to your left, maybe gazing up past your left arm. Good. One more breath here. And release, hands back to the floor. Feet can come back together, step or hop back toward your hands. Lengthen out your spine, so lift up and create some space. Exhale, fold, and bring it in. Engage the belly. Anchor the feet, come all the way up to standing. Stretch up, reach tall, maybe a baby back bend here. And then hands come together, the heart. Fantastic. Arms back up on inhale, stretch up and lengthen. We're going to bend the knees and sit into a chair pose. Lots of options for this chair. You could extend the arms forward or bend your elbows or take your arms back. Good. A couple more breaths here. You can sit just a little bit deeper. Continuing to pull both thighs back. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Uttanasana. Lengthen out, halfway lift on your in-breath. Hands to the floor. Step or hop it back. Plank pose. Move through your vinyasa, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, peel open to cobra or upward dog, and then downward facing dog on that exhale. Nice job. Send your right leg back and up. 3-legged down dog. Bailey, stop kicking your blocks. Take another breath here. Oh no. Bend your leg and open through the hip. Point your knee out to the right. Take another full breath here. And then go ahead and step your right foot through for a high lunge. So keep your back knee and your back heel off of the mat. Let's start actually with the hands on the hips. I like to start here just to kind of get my bearings, keep the pelvis level. Maybe pull your right hip back just a little bit, pushing the left hip forward, deepen into that lunge, and then lengthening up through the spine. Now send your arms up and breathe here. Squeeze those inner thighs. Take 2 more breaths in this lunge. Maybe come into a little more extension and opening. Good. And then let's take the hands down to the floor. Pick up the back leg for standing splits. Now you can use a block here, or fingertips can just be on the floor. Maybe hug right hand or forearm around the back of your right calf. Good. Take 1 more breath here in standing splits. Put a little more energy in your left leg, your left toes. Step it back to your lunge and set up for a twist. So left hand on the ground or maybe a block, right arm reaching up. And let's really stack the right knee over the ankle, right shin bone straight up and down as you open. Now you can always bring down that back knee. Or if you're wanting to take it up a notch here and weight your left hand, take your elbow over to your knee and you can come into that prayer twist. Good. Take 2 more cleansing breaths here as you open. And release right hand down. Beautiful, you guys. Step back to plank, vinyasa, or you can always go directly back to downward facing dog. Take your time. Good, and your left leg will extend back. Reach it up, long and lengthened. Bend your left leg, open up through the hip. Nice, so point that left knee out to the left, stretch through the side body, and then step that left foot through for your high lunge. So again, let's go ahead and start with the hands on the hips. So pressing down on the pelvis and the hip bones, and maybe tugging that left hip back just a little bit, right hip forward, telescoping up, tractioning up through your torso and your spine. Staying strong at your core, take your arms up. Breathe here. So feel your legs, energy in your legs, squeeze through those inner thighs. Take 2 more breaths, maybe coming into a little more extension or back bending. Good, and then release hands down. Pick up your back leg, lifting through your right leg, folding over your left. Maybe hands to blocks, or fingertips on the floor, or take the left hand and forearm back behind your calf and really start to fold it in. Root down to lift up a little higher. Take 2 more breaths here, standing splits. Fantastic. Release out of that. Step your right foot to the back of your mat and set up for your twist. So the right hand can stay on the ground or a block, the left arm reaching up. Right knee can always come down to the floor. Good, you guys. Beautiful job. Push with those back toes, lengthen. And again, if you want to take it up a notch, pick up that right hand, bring elbow over to the outside of the knee, come into your prayer twist. Root down and open up. Take 2 more cleansing breaths here, everybody. Looks good. Unwind out of that and step back, plank pose. Finish out your vinyasa. Good, fantastic. Take a breath here in your downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and step or hop forward toward your hands. Flat back as you inhale, so stretch and lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Good, bend your knees and sit into your chair pose, Utkatasana. And we're gonna bring the palms together. Okay, so if you happen to have a block, and I think a lot of you do actually, let's take the block and bring it in between the thighs just to keep that engagement. And if you don't have a block, that's okay. You can kind of do it. You can imagine hugging that in. Bring the palms together. And we're going to twist to the right. So try to keep your lower body really solid and stable. Twist to your right. Using your core, maybe place your left elbow on that right knee for a little bit of leverage. Squeeze your block and then lift your chest up toward your thumbs. If you feel like spreading the arms here, you can do that. Right arm reaching up. Left arm down. Strong legs. Take 1 more cleansing breath here. Wringing out. And then let's come into a forward fold. The block can stay where it is. Let your head relax. Good. And let's go ahead and move back into chair. Continue to hug the block and send the arms up. Palms together at the heart. We're going to do this on the other side. So keep that lower body solid and stable. Twist using your core to your left. Maybe place your right elbow on that left knee or outside of the leg. Squeeze your block. Lift your chest up a little bit toward your thumbs. Beautiful, you guys. And then maybe spread the arms here. Good. Take 1 more breath, cleanse, wring it out, and then bring it back to your fold. Shake your head out. You can remove your block. Put it to the side, flat back as you inhale, extend forward. Hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward dog, downward facing dog on that exhale. Perfect. Take your right leg in the air. Bend your leg open through your hip. And step it through warrior 2. So anchor that back heel to the floor, bring your body upright, and extend out through the arms. And feeling whatever you feel here, starting to open up into the hips and the fronts of the thighs, the pelvis. Take 2 more breaths here. Maybe opening up the palms, softening the shoulders down, away from the ears. Good. We're going to straighten up the right leg, setting up for triangle. Okay, so reach the right arm and the fingertips forward. We'll bring the right hand down. This is a great option to use the block. I like to place the block just to the outside of the right foot or ankle. And open through the left arm and the chest. As you root down through your left foot at the back of your mat, elongate the spine, grow a little taller, a little longer. Last full breath. We're going to send the left arm forward alongside the ear for a moment. Beautiful, you guys. Bring your left hand down to the floor, and you're going to move into a revolved triangle pose. So step your back foot forward a few inches, turn the toes a little more forward. If you've got a block, bring it over so you can be underneath your left hand. Let's bring the right hand to the right hip and pull your right hip and thigh back manually with the hand. You can either keep it there or take your right arm up toward the ceiling for a revolved triangle pose. Try to keep your feet solid and anchored to the floor. 2 more breaths here. Good. And then right hand comes back down. And moving into a balance, half moon. So take if you've got a block, take it forward about a foot beyond the toes. Pick up this back leg and open up the left arm toward the ceiling. Back leg lifted and pretty parallel with the ground. Turn your left hip a little more open. Good, you guys. Fantastic. Give this one more solid breath. And then you're going to bring your left hand down to your block, if you've got it. Square off the hips. Keep your back leg up. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Pull it back a little bit. Maybe keep it here, or just as we did in triangle, take your right arm up. So this is a revolved, twisting, half moon pose. Good job, you guys. Take one more breath here. Dig deep. Use your core. Lots of twists today. Right hand back to the floor. Step it all the way back. Plank pose. Damn. And chaturanga. All right, you know what we're going to do now. Left leg in the air. Bend your leg and open. Good. Step it through for warrior 2. Good. Did you think I was going to say dolphin? Is that what you thought? Huh. I didn't say dolphin. Good. So breathe here into the pelvis, into the hips. Let your body settle, get strong and grounded. Maybe open up your palms for the last couple of breaths here. Good. And then we're going to straighten up this left leg. Triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Reach forward, maybe take a block to the outside of that left foot. And the right arm can stretch up and reach up, opening through the heart and through the chest. Good. Notice your breath. See if you can really fine-tune this posture with your breath. Take one more here, and then send your right arm forward alongside the ear. Stretch through the right side body. Good. Right hand to the floor. Step your back foot forward just a little bit. We're going to set up for a revolved triangle. Maybe take the block over into your right hand. Take your left hand to your left hip. And I want you to really pull that left hip back so it's even with your right. You could even keep it there or send your left arm up for your twist, for your revolved triangle pose. Feel the stability of the ground underneath you, solid through your legs and your feet. Take one more cleansing breath here. And bring your left hand back to the floor. Setting up for half moon, so maybe take that block forward about a foot beyond the toes. Picking up this back leg. And stacking your body on its side, rooting down with your left foot. And see if you can peel back a little bit more with the right hip and the right leg. Good. Nice balance, you guys. Couple more breaths here. Root to rise. And then we're going to bring the right hand back. Square off the hips. Maybe take that block underneath the right hand. Square off the hips. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Continue to pull it back. Right leg is still lifted and parallel with the ground. And then start to turn to your left. And maybe send that left arm up. Good. Take a couple more breaths here. You can do it. Root down to lift a little higher. And exhale. Back down. Step it back to your plank pose. And finish your vinyasa. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Good. All right, so come down to your knees. Find your core, your center here. You're on your hands and your knees. And we're going to lengthen the right arm forward and extend the left leg back behind. Coming into a little spinal balance here. Take a moment to find your breath. Reaching the right arm and the left leg apart. Take one more here. And then as you exhale, pull your right elbow to your left knee, coming into a little crunch. Inhale, reach it back out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, back out. Good. Slow and steady. One more of these. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach it out. Bend your left leg, reach back, grab a hold of your foot with your hand if you're able. Kick into the hand and open up into this half bow back bend. Drawing up through the left toes and opening through the chest. One more breath here. Release out of that, re-extend. Bring the right hand to the ground. Kick your right toes over to the right side of your mat and send your left arm up. So now you're on your right hand and your right knee. Left leg lifted in parallel with the ground. Stretch your left arm forward alongside your ear. Bend your left leg. Reach back. And grab a hold of your foot into this half bow. Kick away from the body, opening the shoulder and the chest. 2 more breaths here. Good. Release out of that. Come back to all fours. Take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Send your right arm out and up and thread the needle. So that right arm threads underneath your left. Good, you guys, last breath here. Unwind out of that. Send the arm back out. Reach it up. And hand to the floor. Good. Bring your knees back to center. Find your neutral spine. And your left arm will extend forward and the right leg will reach back. So finding this spinal balance, feeling into your core connection as you reach forward and back at the same time. Take another full breath here. And then exhale, pull your left elbow towards your right knee. Come into a little crunch. Inhale, stretch it back out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, back out. Good. Slow and steady. One more of these. Exhale. Inhale. Bend your right leg. Reach back with your left hand. Grab a hold of your foot. Kick into the hand. Open through the shoulder. And lift up through the heart. Good. 2 more solid breaths here. And release out of that. Re-extend the arm and the leg. Bring the left hand down to the floor. Kick your left toes behind you a little bit and send your right arm up. So right leg is lifted parallel with the ground. Send your right arm forward. Stretch through that side body. Bend your right leg. Reach back, grab a hold of the foot. With the hand, kick back and open through your chest, through your heart. Good. 2 more breaths here. And then release out of that. Bring it back to all fours. Take your knees just a little bit wider. Send your left arm out and up and thread the needle. So that left arm goes underneath your right for just a few breaths. Good. And then let's start to unwind out of that. Send that left arm back out. Reach it up. And bring the left hand back to the floor. All right. Go back to a downward facing dog. Everybody lift up through the hips. The right leg will reach back. Lengthen it up. Bend your leg open through the hip. Step the right foot through. Warrior 2. Straighten up the right leg. So we're kind of revisiting the sequence. Triangle pose. Reach forward and down. Right hand down to shin or block. Open through the chest. Maybe with a little more mobility here. Send your left arm forward alongside your ear and send your left hand down to the floor or block. Step your back foot forward just a little bit and revolve this. So take your right arm and stretch it up toward the ceiling. Reverse or revolve triangle. Continue to create more space between the right hip and the right shoulder. Exhale, right hand down to the ground or block. Shift your weight forward for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Send your left arm and your left leg up. Maybe keep it here, or this time around, bend your top leg, reach back and find your foot coming into this half bow. Good. Let that go, let that release. Left hand to the ground, square off the hips. Send your right arm up and maybe bend your left leg. Grab a hold of your foot with your right hand. So you're coming into this kind of funky bind in your revolved half moon. Dig deep, you guys. Breathe. One more here. And release out of that. Step it all the way back to plank pose, vinyasa. Good. And left leg back. Stretch it up. Move through this sequence at your own pace. Bend your leg and open. And step it through. Warrior two. Straighten up that left leg. Reach forward. Triangle pose. Left hand down, right arm reaching up. Turn a little more open. Right arm goes forward alongside your ear. Stretch through the side body. Right hand down to the floor. Go ahead and inch forward. Pick up this right leg for, did I do that? Oh yeah, half moon, sorry. Right arm reaching up. Oh, I skipped the revolved triangle, didn't I? Damn it. Okay. You guys at home, we're gonna edit this. Okay, so step your back foot forward a little bit. Let's do revolved triangle. If you've been in revolved triangle, just keep staying there for a minute. Good. Now bring your left hand to the floor. Awesome, you guys. Shift your weight forward into your half moon. So open up your right arm. Maybe come into your bind this time around. So grab a hold of your right foot. Kick back and open. Good. Let that go. Release. Bring the right hand to the floor or block. Send your left arm up. Maybe bend your right leg. Grab a hold of the foot. And kick back in this funky bind. Good, you guys, you got it. Take one more cleansing breath here. Let that go. Ooh, step it all the way back. If you want to take one more vinyasa here, you can do that. Downward facing dog. Good, let's come down to the knees and just settle into child's pose for a few breaths. And one more full breath here. Come back up. And I'd like for you to shift onto your back so you can swing your legs around. Roll onto your backs. Hug the knees in to your chest. And you can rock or circle, massaging around your lower back. And maybe reach up and grab a hold of your feet for happy baby pose. A nice reclined hip opener, pulling on the outer edges of your feet. Good. Let's release out of that. Bring your left foot to the ground. Cross your outer ankle over top your left leg for figure 4, reclined pigeon. Maybe keeping that left foot grounded or picking this up and reaching your hands around the left leg. Good. Take another full breath here. We're going to release the left foot back to the ground. Wrap your right leg all the way over top your left, almost like an eagle pose. Shift your entire pelvis a little bit to your right, toward the right edge of your mat. And let's drop the knees to the left for a wrapped or bound spinal twist, the legs wrapped. If that doesn't feel good to you, unwrap your legs and just rest your right knee on top of your left. Good, you guys. Will you take a couple more cleansing breaths here in your twist? And then go ahead and ease back up. You can uncross the legs and bring everything back to center. And you'll pick up your left leg, cross the outer ankle over top the right leg, the right thigh. You can keep it there or pick up the right foot and reach the hands through. Taking one more breath here. And then let's go ahead and release out of that. Bring the right foot back to the ground. Cross your left leg all the way up and over the top of your right. Shift your hips now a little bit to the left of your mat and drop the knees to your right for this spinal twist. Good. Will you take one more cleansing breath here? And bring it back up through center. Unwrap your legs, send your legs out to the floor, and reach your arms up and back. Just get a nice lengthened stretch here from top to bottom. And you can settle into Shavasana, corpse pose, or if there's anything else remaining for your practice, you can work into that. If there's an inversion or a different finishing pose or sequence that you'd like to move into, please take a moment to do that. Bless you. You begin to expand your breath and open up a little bit through the body, the fingers and the toes. And you can start that transition, that shift out of your corpse pose over to your side, fetal position. And then back up to your seat on your mat. On your next in-breath, reach the arms up, stretch up tall, and bring the hands together in front of the heart. And we'll finish with one round of Om. Take a full breath in. Om. Namaste.